You know those tools you use every single day as a developer? Ever stop and think about where they actually came from? Well, today we're diving deep into the incredible story of the NetBeans IDE. It's a journey that starts in a university classroom and, believe it or not, ends up at one of the biggest open source foundations on the planet. Let's get right into it. So this is the big question, right? How on earth does a student project from the 90s in Prague turn into a tool used by developers all over the world? It's an amazing story, really. It's got everything: innovation, big tech drama, and, most importantly, the incredible power of community. It's kind of the perfect example of how modern software gets built and survives. Okay, before we get into the weeds of the story, let's make sure we're all on the same page. What even is an IDE? Well, an integrated development environment is basically a developer's all-in-one Swiss Army knife. It's got your code editor, your build tools, a debugger, everything you need all packed into one application to make your life a whole lot easier. All right, so let's hit the rewind button and go way back to the mid-90s. Our story doesn't start in some fancy corporate R&D lab in Silicon Valley. Nope. It starts in a university with the birth of a brand new tool. And what's wild is how fast this all happened. I mean, look at this timeline. It kicks off in '96 as a student project. Just 1 year later, it's already a commercial product. And then, bam, by 1999, it gets snapped up by Sun Microsystems, the company that created Java. From a classroom project to a corporate powerhouse in 3 years, that is absolutely lightning speed.
So that acquisition by Sun really kicks off a whole new chapter in the story, the corporate years. First, it was under Sun's guidance, and then later on, under Oracle's.
The year 2000. This was a huge, pivotal moment. Sun Microsystems did something that was frankly pretty radical for the time. They open-sourced the entire IDE. You have to remember, this was an era where most software was locked down tight. So this move was massive. It was basically an open invitation to developers everywhere to come and help build it. Now, the two big corporate owners, Sun and Oracle, they had totally different philosophies. Sun was all about building this vibrant, open-source community around NetBeans. But when Oracle bought Sun back in 2010, their goal was a little more practical. They wanted to figure out how NetBeans could work together with their own IDE called JDeveloper. And this is the result of that strategy. The core of NetBeans, what's called the NetBeans platform, was so solid, so well architected, that it ended up becoming the foundation for both IDEs. Think about that for a second. That just goes to show you how good the original design really was. Which brings us to the latest, and you could argue the most important chapter in the NetBeans saga, its rebirth at the Apache Software Foundation. A whole new beginning. So, in 2016, Oracle made a really surprising move. They actually proposed donating the entire NetBeans project to Apache. Now, the official reason they gave was all about governance. They said they wanted to give the people who actually use and contribute to NetBeans a bigger say in where the project was headed. And this transition didn't happen overnight. It was a two-step process. First, in late 2016, it went into the Apache incubator. That's kind of like a training ground where projects learn the Apache way of doing things. All community-led. Then, in April 2019, it graduated. It became an official, top-level project, which cemented its future as a true, community-run staple of the open-source world. Okay, so that's the history, the whole roller coaster ride of how we got here. But what makes NetBeans such a beast of a tool today? Let's pop the hood and take a look inside the toolbox. The secret sauce, the core idea behind all of NetBeans, is modularity. The best way to think about it is like a set of Legos. Everything, and I mean everything, from Java support to Git integration, is its own little block, a self-contained module. This is what makes the IDE so incredibly flexible. You want a new feature? You just plug in a new module. It's genius. For any serious Java developer, the built-in profiler is an absolute game changer. It lets you monitor your app's performance, hunt down nasty memory leaks, and just generally make things faster. And it uses this really cool technique called dynamic bytecode instrumentation, which lets it analyze your code while it's running without slowing it down to a crawl. That is a huge, huge help when you're debugging something tricky. And hey, if you're building desktop apps, NetBeans has this fantastic visual GUI builder. It actually used to have this cool code name, Project Matisse. It lets you design your whole user interface just by dragging and dropping components onto a canvas. It's a super intuitive way to build even really complex layouts without pulling your hair out. Now, while NetBeans is legendary for its Java support, it is absolutely not a one-trick pony. It's a true polyglot IDE. It has fantastic, ready-to-go support for PHP, all your web dev stuff like JavaScript and HTML, and even C/C++. That kind of versatility makes it an awesome tool for pretty much any kind of developer. So let's zoom out and put all these pieces together. Why does a tool that started way back in the 90s still matter so much in today's crazy, fast-paced world of software development? What's the big picture here?
Well, here's what it boils down to today. First off, it's completely free and open source. Can't be that. Second, it runs pretty much anywhere. Windows, Mac, Linux, you name it. It's also incredibly powerful right out of the box with no messing around. But the real key, the secret sauce, is that its future is guided by the community, the actual people using it every day. That ensures it keeps evolving to solve real-world problems.
And getting started is super simple because you can just download a bundle that's already set up for what you do. So if you're a web developer, you can grab the Java EE bundle, and you won't have all the C++ stuff cluttering things up. If you're a PHP developer, there's a specific bundle just for you. Or you can just grab the complete package and get the whole shebang. You know, the whole journey of NetBeans really leaves us with a fascinating question to chew on. In a world that's now full of super lightweight text editors and all these hyper-specialized little tools, what is the role for a big, full-featured, community-driven IDE? It's definitely something to think about. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer.